Welcome back to the show. This is still Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time for our Community Watch segment. And UNICEF Ghana, in partnership with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, supported my colleague Gabriel Obodai Torgbor-Ashong and other 2 journalists to attend international conferences outside the country to enhance their capacity on reporting on water, sanitation and hygiene. The 3 journalists were winners of the Made in UNICEF Open Defecation Media Contest.
I'm within the Weather Center at Lavrov within UK, and we are looking at waste management and then some of the bins that we see around. So these are a number of bins you can see right here, and the good thing is they have separated their bins in accordance to waste which are actually generated right here. So I could actually see one for non-recyclables and then another for plastics. You have those for papers, and then again another one for non-recyclables, no food waste, but the other ones could then take food waste. So this is what they are saying to make it easier in recycling some of the waste. What's the situation back home? Your guess is as good as mine.
My name is Jacob Katuva and I'm from Kenya. You're asking me about waste management in Kenya and how that is set up. At the moment, it's not working very well. I would say, or rather hate to say this, so many researchers from the universities and even NGOs and even private organizations have done lots of studies, but these reports are sitting in the offices of those who are responsible to implement this kind of solutions that these guys are coming up with. So what you find there is we don't have any landfill, to the best of my knowledge, in terms of solid waste management. The wastewater management system is, undersized. Population has growth, especially in Nairobi city, which is a capital city. It's undersized at the moment. You've got more people, building homes, putting up infrastructure, but then the main trunk is never expanding. So we've got 2 problems there, not only solid, but also the wastewater management. The place where it's collected, at the moment, it's near a slum. So actually it makes even matters worse. There are so many risks of contamination. Currently we have cholera outbreak in Nairobi city, which is sad in itself. So in my view, I think we need to implement the solutions that the researchers are coming up with, especially NGOs and private sectors and even the universities that are working on this kind of issues.
Right, so you've seen how waste is managed at the basic level here in the UK. You've seen the bins. Let's now talk to the experts to share their views about how Ghana is performing. I have with me Mr. Kweku Odro Apia. He's also come all the way from Ghana to attend the weather conference. Welcome to Metro TV.
Thank you.
Right, so Ghana, in the estimation of many, isn't doing well when it comes to waste management. You visit a number of communities and it's a messy situation in drains, in people's houses, even in the sea or along the coast. In your assessment, how are we faring?
As you just rightly said, we're not faring well. We would say, with respect to collection of solid waste, our research just showed us that we are at 75%. But the ultimate should be 100%. That is to say, everybody's waste must be collected.
But then if 75%, it means that fairly we are doing well.
Yeah, you would say, but in terms of the public health effects, even 1% of waste not collected can blow out in terms of public health to bring about cholera, and it all depends on where. So the ultimate is that everything needs to be collected. So if you have 25% of waste not collected, your question is, where does it go? And is it not the problem of flooding? Is it not the problem of cholera outbreak, periodic cholera outbreak? So you wouldn't want, because of public health, to even leave a 0.5% of waste. Most of our beaches at times are loaded with plastics, and therefore this is an effect we need to together come together to see how we can gradually, in a systematic way, solve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here in the UK, we can see that they've classified how waste are placed into the bins. I know the AMA started something like that, but what then brought about a failure in our implementation? But here it is working so well.
Yeah. Let me recommend something. We need to always do things in a participatory approach, and that is what here they do. You know, all of a sudden, if I put a bin there without educating the people to put in the waste, then people would want to put anything. So in our planning, design, and implementation of projects, it is always incumbent upon you to always ask that question. Do the people who are to put the waste, are they aware of this? So what we do, we do it participatory, we plan together, and the people are representative. Then when it comes to bear, they will not put anything other than the recommended waste into the particular bin. But I must also share with you that that placement you see goes with a huge cost. If you want to place it even 1 kilometer interval, this is a big infrastructure which comes with money. And so people might be willing to support the assemblies to do what we want. And I think in the participatory process, not only the process is discussed, but the finances also be discussed, and people might come on board to help.
You earlier presented a situation, you shared your experiences and even the experience from Ghana to a number of audiences right here in Lavrov. How best do you think this situation could be addressed bottom up, maybe from the assembly level?
Okay, what we're doing is that, you know, I don't work with the assembly, I'm coming from the university, but we are collaborating with the assembly on the research to help improve the system. Okay. So what we are doing now is assess their performance, where they are, then know at what point in the service chain can we help or can we do. And we're not coming with our suggestion. We're using a participatory approach so that people can now suggest what they want to do. And I know by so doing, it's a gradual process. Bear in mind that it won't change overnight. But people would accept the situation and say, no, these are the negative consequences. Let's all do this together and we'll move one step at a time. But the assemblies haven't even accepted research from outside, that is the university. It's a bright spot to say that now they want to work at least to solve the problem.
Have you come up with any recommendation yet?
Yeah, we came up with Frank. Our research helped in drafting a new franchise agreement between the service providers, and here I'm talking of the collection of solid waste. They started in 2011. It was a 5-year, so in 2016 it had to be reviewed. We came in, we helped, reviewed the process. We did some surveys, we did some what they call flow analysis. That is what we call the process flow diagram. And now our findings from both the service beneficiaries and the providers, both the informal and formal, has told us something. And fortunately, the assembly of municipality has accepted to use our findings in drafting the new franchise agreement. All left with us now is together in a participatory process, monitor to see whether what obligations we have spelled for each other is really implemented. And,
any last words to add up? Our waste back home?
I would say it's a concerted effort. Let the media challenge the municipality, challenge the people, ask questions as to why this. Let's raise a larger forum for discussion, and I hope that with the new ministry on sanitation and water, I think we can address this in a systematic way, and they will be there. It will take some time, but we have to start something to be there.
All right, so that was my colleague Gabriel Oboda Torgbor-Ashong with a community watch segment on sanitation in the country. Indeed, it is appalling, and I'm sure stakeholders are watching, and something will be done, if not in the interim. I mean, going forward, we can be able to arrest the situation, not to kill ourselves with diseases. Good morning, Ghana. Takes a quick break. We'll be back shortly.
Good morning.